Bender night. Tony Sanks, Bill Bender. He made the honor roll in 7 events: 200, 400, 110 hurdles, 300 hurdles, 1600 relay, shuttle hurdle relay, and 800 relay. He set 4 school records that year: high hurdles, intermediate hurdles, 1600 relay, shuttle hurdle relay. He won the Mike Sepetowski Award for the top senior athlete in track and field. His high hurdle time of 14.6, 14.7, that's another story, lasted for over 20 years, his high hurdle record. His 300 hurdle record lasted for over 26 years, 38.3. 26 years in length. A lot of guys shooting for that record never got there. Took us 26 years to get it. Shuttle hurdle relay still has the record. 1600 relay, he teamed up with Danny Johnson, Tony Sanks, and Scott Wacker, and they held that record for 18 years. He medaled at Shippensburg, he medaled at Dickinson. The lead meet, he broke 3 school records in the high hurdles, intermediate hurdles, and also in the 1600 relay. District meet, he finished 3rd in the district meet in the high hurdles and 300 hurdles. In the 1600 relay, we finished 5th. That wasn't a whole other story by itself that I'll have to tell someday. One of those coaching memories that wasn't a great memory. But 1600 relay, it was just a great team, but because of some situations in weather and things didn't work out. Went to states. One thing we would do, Jerry's work ethic really paid off. We were working on it, and I know Coach Bowers will love this, but the last week before states we did what's called attack drills. We run away from the hurdle, coach blows the whistle, you turn around, and no matter what leg comes up, you go over the hurdle. Because you know at states, that final hurdle, usually somebody chops. He didn't chop. He got 3rd place in the state of Pennsylvania at that time, which to medal at states is tough. And 3rd was an awesome place. Incredible career, incredible season that year. One of the best hurdlers of all time, Jerry Frey.
Well, kind of like I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. I was just a kid, and my coaches were everything, and I trusted them to the team. And it's funny because I look back now. Albright had a brown mustache. You had a mustache. They were kids too. They were just getting into coaching, and Coach Albright's right. I only went out for track because they didn't cut you. And I would have been cut from any other sport. But Mr. Bradley said, hey, if you work out and you do your best, you'll have a place on this team. And my freshman year, I did stink a lot. And I remember there was just a handful of us that didn't go to away meets. And I was one of them because the bus only could hold so many. So, but I stuck to it. And I was a crazy kid. I did fracture my skull as a sophomore, and did a few other things that were crazy. But one thing my coaches were able to do was to bring the best out of me. And I think, looking back, Mr. Bradley was really, really good at that, and finding the right place to put you, and getting you in the right races. I never wanted to be a hurdler, but I ended up being a hurdler. And I never wanted to be on the mile relay, but I ended up on the mile relay, breaking the school record and all that. Mr. Albright would always, he knew me inside and out, and he knew what drills to do and what I was thinking, and it was just a really symbiotic relationship where I trusted him, he trusted me, and I think we grew as a team. I'm being recognized tonight, but it was really our team that really changed everything. And I think we joke around who's the best team, and I know there's state championships, but the 1983 team, I would go to war anytime, anywhere. Kurt Rogers, and Tony Sanks, and Scott Wacker. If you don't know Scott Wacker, he was a crazy guy, and we just did what our coaches told us to do, and we never questioned it, and we worked our tails off. So, and I also want to thank Coach Bowers for making me run cross country. I didn't want to do that, but he tricked me. Mr. Albright was talking about the league race my junior year. I did get 5th that year. What you don't know is, yes, my grandfather passed away. Yes, my grandmother told me to run the race, but they set the hurdles up wrong. I actually got 4th the first time, but I wasn't good enough that it didn't affect me. I just ran. They had the one set at the girls' spot instead of the guys' spot. So all these great hurdlers fall, and I just keep running. But so I ended up getting 5th, I think, that year, and that's what kind of, it just started clicking. All that work and all those. I mean, this guy here would have me run up and down the hallways thousands of times, going over hurdles, and he would do stuff that today you probably couldn't get away with, like holding a 2x4 over a hurdle to make sure I had the right form, and I did have great form because I thought I was going to die. So Bowers somehow sucked me into his van when we were going to districts and convinced me that it would be a great idea to run cross country, and I did, and I joked with him today, the first practice, I swear we ran 80 miles, and I'm a fast twitch guy, and I don't have any slow twitch muscles on me. Second practice, he made us run to the junior high school, not this one, the one in Centerville from the high school. On the way, stop at this giant hill that we had to run up and down 40 times, and then he made us run back again, which is crazy. So, I don't know if that's legal anymore. But no, it's funny because, again, I trusted him, and where I always won my races in the 300 hurdles were the last 100, because I had that endurance. I had speed, but where I always won was the last 100. So I want to thank 3 great coaches, and I had some great races that I would love to share with you. And I do want to say one thing about the team. We ran, McCaskey was our arch nemesis, and back then, and I don't know if it's this way anymore, but we never got, and only McCaskey got in the newspapers, and that was, we finally broke that. We weren't afraid of McCaskey, and we would go to McCaskey, and they would come here, and we would never back down. And I think that's what started it all. And there's a quote, I think might be Aristotle, but it says, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. And I think that's really the start of what greatness happened with the track team here. We just all kind of came together as coaches, as students, and for years I would always come back because I wanted to see the hurdlers get better, and I wanted to see that core grow, and that's what I learned from my coaches. So I don't want to take up any more time. I do want to say that the mile relay leagues is one of my favorite races, even though I'm being honored for individual things. But that year we ran a super great race. We didn't make it to states, but we got 3rd. But all 3 of us teams, McCaskey, Gardner, Spot, and us, all broke the league record in that one race. And we only got 3rd, so you don't see that in the stats. But that was one incredible race. So anyway, thank you so much. Thank you to the committee. I'm very honored and humbled, and appreciate it. Thank you.